Good morning and welcome to On the Spot News right here on Zimbabwe Daily. My name is Grace Kajke. Let's take a look at the news making the headlines. ZEC engages Bulawayo youth, pay half salaries in US dollar. Sikala and Sitole spend another night in jail as court runs until 7 p.m. Fears Triple C legislators face weekend detention too. Selma Mutukudzi speaks out on child marriages. Cancer still not allowed to use debt collectors. Diraya sweats over Nyawa Paga. And in sports, Zemura's nightmare. We will take a look at the main news in detail. The Zimbabwe Electoral Commission has embarked on an extensive youth training program to encourage young people in Bulawayo to register to vote. In Harare, ZEC held a similar exercise to address challenges faced by the youth in registering to vote. ZEC Director of Research and Development Manager Anthony Chikutsa said young people in the country were backsliding in terms of participating in electoral processes because they did not have enough information. The National Employment Council has directed private sector employers to pay half of their salaries in foreign currency as appetite for the free-falling local currency wanes. The National Employment Council yesterday directed employers in the furniture manufacturing industry, timber, and allied trade unions to pay wages in US dollars only or both foreign and local currency. Council of the Mining Industry also directed mining companies to partly pay workers in US dollars. In a related matter, unions representing civil servants were left fuming after the crucial National Joint Negotiation Council NJNC meeting with government to discuss demands for US dollar salaries was postponed to today. This was after government scheduled the meeting for 4 p.m., but the Zimbabwe Confederation of Public Sector Trade Unions, formerly Apex Council, said it was too late to discuss important welfare issues. Citizens Coalition for Change, Triple C Deputy National Chairman Job Sikala and fellow legislator Godfrey Sitole spent their third night in detention after court proceedings ended after 7 p.m. on Thursday. Deputy Chief Magistrate Godfrey Mandaza postponed the hearing to Friday, and Triple C officials fear court appearance will again be delayed in order to keep the duo in detention through the weekend. Sikala and Sitole face public violence charges after clashes rocked to the funeral wake and the memorial service for the murdered Triple C party activist Mo Blessing Ali. Ali's body was found last Saturday, cut into pieces and thrown into a well at the Beatrice home of claimed ZANU-PF supporter and murder suspect Pius Jamba. Jamba has since been arrested and due to appear in court. Award-winning musician Selma Mutukudzi has called for an end to child marriages, which are on the increase in Zimbabwe. Mutukudzi made the call on Monday while speaking during an Indaba ahead of celebrations of the Day of the African Child on June 16. Mutukudzi, who is a mother, called upon parents to desist from chasing away their young daughters when they fall pregnant. She said, as mothers, we should learn to forgive our daughters and try by all means to take care of mother and the baby. Protect your own than pushing them into a situation that will harm them. Mutukudzi also urged young boys to abstain from sexual activities or use contraceptives rather than end up deserting young girls they impregnate. She added, why do you do the act sleeping with the young girls when you know you can't take the responsibility? Men should be responsible for their acts. Government has warned local authorities against engaging debt collectors to recover what they are owed by ratepayers, as this is illegal. Parliament yesterday sought clarification after After revelations, some local authorities are enlisting the services of debt collectors, notwithstanding a 2010 government directive prohibiting attachment of private property by local authority over non-payment of rents. Local Government and Public Works Deputy Minister Marian Chombo said Local Government Circular 3 of 2010 will stand. The involvement of debt collectors, she said, sometimes often has unintended consequences for local authorities. Local authorities have been struggling to collect revenues for years. Harare City Council, for example, is owed $17 billion in unpaid rents. Dynamo's coach Tontera Ndiraya is sweating over the potential loss of star players Emmanuel Paga and Shadrack Nyawa, which he fears could severely dent their chances of winning the Premier League title this year. The duo, who have been key to the team's good start to the campaign, are undergoing trials with Tanzania side Azam FC, which will run until Thursday next week. And in entertainment news, last week, all focus was on Sungura ace Alec Machiaso as the orchestra Mberikwajo frontman celebrated his 54th birthday in a style while also launching his 12th album titled Tinoshitsa Nashe. This week, it is going to be a weekend for contemporary music lovers as the trio of Japreza, Wink D and Nati O is set to perform at the Harare International Conference Center tomorrow. Dubbed the Redefined concert and hosted by Gateway Stream Music, the show is scheduled to start at 4 p.m. and tickets are pegged at $20 for standard, with the VIP tickets going for $50. Now the sports news. Warrior stars Marvelous Nakamba and Jordan Zemura are set to clash in the opening weekend of the English Premier League with their respective sides, Aston Villa and Bournemouth, paired for the season opener. But Zemura and his team face probably the toughest start for the newly promoted side. The EPL yesterday released fixtures for the 2022-23 campaign, which is set to kick off on August 5 with the Crystal Palace versus Arsenal clash. Liverpool, who finished second in the just-ended campaign, travel to newly promoted Fulham for a lunchtime kick-off, with Everton versus Chelsea match being a late kick-off coming in after four other fixtures, including the Bournemouth and Villa clash. To end this news bulletin, we will take a look once again at the news making the headlines. ZEC engages Bulawayo youth, pay half salaries in US dollar. Sikala and Sitole spends another night in jail as court runs until 7 p.m. Fears CCC legislator face weekend detention too. Selma Mtukudzi speak out on child marriages. Council still not allowed to use debt collectors. Ndiraya sweat over Nyawa Paga. And in sports, Zemura's nightmare. Thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned.